Now, the Washington Post reports that Trump may eliminate age as a factor when deciding whether someone's capable of working. The Post says that plan would limit disability benefits for older people. The White House responded saying, look, the only policy change President Trump's made is the tax cuts, which eliminated or will eliminate taxes on Social Security benefits. Come on in, Steve Moore. At the moment, seems to me, it's easier to get Social Security disability if you're over age 50. Will getting rid of the age factor be popular, and will it hurt seniors?
Well, Stuart, there's no program in Washington that has been more abused than the disability program. We've seen surges in the number of people who are signing up for disability, even though workplaces are safer than ever before. And so it doesn't really make any sense, except for the fact that people are defrauding the system by the hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people, costing the taxpayers billions of dollars every year. We know it's been happening, and no one has ever done anything about the fraud in the disability program until Donald Trump came along.
So you think he's going to do something like this? I mean, eliminate as much fraud as you can from the disability program? I think that would be popular. But when people start getting hurt, have their benefits cut, that's when it becomes unpopular.
Well, exactly right, Stuart. And so you have to make sure that people who are truly disabled should be getting the checks. But, you know, you have so many people who say, oh, I have emotional trauma or I have a back injury. And they're, you know, now some people really do have back injuries. But if you just look at those numbers, they have just jump out on the page in terms of how many people are getting disability at the age of 54, 55, and they're essentially retiring at that age. And look, we've got, you know, the numbers are very clear about this. We have 11,000 people retiring every day because of the aging of the baby boomers, and we've only got 8,000 people entering the workforce. We can't have people going on disability at age 56 and then taking an extra 10 years of essential retirement.
Okay, point taken. Next one, Steve. The Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE. They updated the amount of money they've saved, that they claim to have saved. They now put it at $214 billion. Could it be a lot more than that if Trump starts cutting the bureaucracy during this shutdown?
Yes, to both. First of all, congratulations to Elon Musk and the people working at Doge. Remember, the left laughed at this and they said they're not going to be able to find a lot of waste and inefficiency and fraud. And guess what? They have. Now, $200 billion, that's bigger than most state budgets, Stuart. So these are big numbers, although I would say, as someone who's studied the federal budget now for 35 years, you could probably quadruple that number easily. I mean, the amount of, we know, for example, by the government's own auditors, that about $150 billion of fraudulent Medicaid payments in one program, Stuart. So these numbers jump out at you in terms of, let's get rid of the fraud, the abuse, the duplication. You've got agencies in government, nobody even knows what these people do anymore. They got cobwebs in their office, and they're still getting paid. So there's still a lot of work to do at Doge, but go ahead.
Well, now, I want to know, when will these savings pop up in the deficit numbers? Surely, if you saved all that money, you're not spending that money, then the deficit starts to come down a little bit, doesn't it?
Well, the problem is we have more and more money, people getting Social Security, Medicare, all these programs. Look at what this government shutdown is about. You know, I was just looking at these numbers, Stuart. The Schumer shutdown, he's essentially shut down much of government because the Republicans want to save $1.5 trillion out of $80 trillion over the next decade. I did the math. That's like 2% of spending. And the Democrats and Schumer are basically saying, we're not going to vote for a bill that cuts 2% out of a budget when we're buying $2 trillion a year. So come on. I mean, how are we ever going to get this budget under control if they won't even make the slightest of cuts? And Trump is doing the best he can, but look, he needs Congress to approve these cuts.
Nobody has ever really gotten the budget under control. No one. Trump's trying, but no one before has succeeded.
We did. I have to say, we did do that under Bill Clinton when Newt Gingrich was Speaker. You know, we actually, believe it or not, we had 3 or 4 straight balanced budgets. It's hard to believe that was, 25 years ago or something like that. So it can be done. You have to get 2 things, Stuart. You've got to get a growing, booming economy, and Trump is creating that. and then you have to just get a ceiling on spending. You've got to make at least some modest cuts in spending. Trump is trying to do that. It's unbelievable how much resistance he's getting, from the swamp in Washington.
I suspect we're going to have this conversation many times in the future. Steve?
Sure we will.
Pleasure to have you with us this morning. We'll see you again soon. Thank you.